Okay, so I finally started the next project, which is a self-portrait. It's a charcoal diptych. There's going to be two portraits. That one there's just starting. There'll be one just over here. Oh, and it'll be life size. And if I go like that, you can start to see. So with this piece, I'm taking the opportunity to look at structure. Drawing this piece loosely around Loomis, Reilly and Bridgman, and I'll talk more about them in another video. At this initial stage, I'm not trying to get any detail. I just want to create a fundamental shape that looks like the photo. So with this method, as you can see in the photo, you're mapping out basic contour, shapes, proportions, because I'm just concentrating on specific shapes, which is easier when you're starting out than just starting and getting the proportions and the construction. And mapping everything out this way can be a very powerful tool. So in the case of when I started mapping this one out, after I'd got the basic sizes that I wanted, I was able to see this eye on the left wasn't quite high enough and it wasn't wide enough. So I was able to see that a lot easier by just comparing those shapes against the reference to this. So my nose wasn't far enough out that way, and it just meant that things started to line up a little bit easier. And that's the beauty of this method, that if you're concentrating just on shape, it's not an eye, it's not an ear, it's a square, it's a triangle, it's a curved shape, and you can start to judge the sizes of those things easier. And again, this is one of several methods you can use. Over time, you rely on it less and less. And one of the beauties of this method is you can catch these earlier on, before you start to invest time in edges and detail and values and blending. So once you have the placement and shapes about right, you can then start to move on to the planes and blocking in values. And hopefully that likeness has already come together, because everything's starting to gel in shape. You can make smaller and smaller tweaks. It's all about seeing before rendering. You're developing your eye. And there are some fundamental differences between Loomis, Reilly and Bridgman. And which one should you use? Well, in my view, it's at least having an understanding of all of them so you can make an informed decision what to use and when to use it. So in my view, you need at least a basic understanding of all the different methods, and then how to apply them and when to apply them. So between the three of those, you're better capable of creating something from imagination. So the reality is, if you want to learn one of these methods, I would say at least understand all three. But remember, you don't have to be perfect, you just have to start.